Tonight's case is one that doesn't just sit in your mind. It stays there because it happened in a place that's supposed to be the safest place in the world, a child's bedroom.
And because the line between random violence and a life taken was a window, a few feet of drywall. A 6-year-old boy was at home doing what kids do, playing a video game, when gunfire outside ripped through that home and killed him.
His name was Kingston Campbell. He was 6 years old, and the people responsible, whether the person who fired the fatal shot or the people who ran with them, or the people who know exactly what happened, have not been held accountable.
This is Lynchburg, Virginia, and for this family, time is measured in before and after. Before the night of May 1st, 2023, when the bullets came through that window, and after.
What's the emergency?
No problem. All units are by
I'm at the corner of Pleasant Hill and John Young Freeway.
Welcome back to Crime Solvers Central. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Jace.
We're going to walk you through what's publicly known, what law enforcement has said, and the parts that don't make sense. Then we'll talk theories, carefully, responsibly, because this is an active, unsolved case. And finally, what you can do, because this is one of those cases where the community piece matters a lot.
And we want to say this up front. We're not here to sensationalize a child's death. We're here because Kingston matters, and because the kind of silence that protects shooters is the kind of silence that makes the next tragedy possible.
Here's the overview. Kingston was inside of his home on Floyd Street, sitting up in bed playing video games when shots were fired into the house. One of those bullets struck him and killed him.
Police have publicly described it as happening just after midnight. Late night into the early hours. So while some people remember it as that night, officially it's the kind of event that happens in that painful blur between days. A moment where most of the city is asleep.
And one of the most haunting details, there is surveillance video. And in that video, you can see multiple individuals firing multiple rounds in the direction of the home.
Multiple shooters, multiple rounds. That matters because it shifts us from the idea of one person acting alone to something else. A group dynamic, a shared decision, a shared willingness to open fire into an occupied home.
That detail alone raises hard questions. If you're firing toward a home on a residential street after midnight, you're not firing into an empty field. You're firing where people sleep.
And it's been years. No arrests, no charges announced publicly in the case. But law enforcement has also said something important. They're not treating it like a cold case. They've described it as active, and that they believe people in the community have information that hasn't been shared.
Which is where this case starts to feel like two stories running at the same time. Story 1, a child is killed in his bed. Story 2, the people who know exactly why and who are still out there living normal life.
Tonight marks 1 year since this shooting, and you see it's a group of youths. We can't tell which is shadow and which is people, but it's about 4 people. You see the gunshots and you see the running happening right here. We've shown this video over and over for a year now. The shooting that killed little Kingston Campbell, a Lynchburg boy who was just playing video games in his bedroom. Still no arrests. And tonight, 10 News reporter Connor Dietrich is working for you, talking with Lynchburg police and the community about their continued search for justice.
Let's talk about what the reporting has said about the video. Early reporting described the footage as appearing to show around 4 people firing on Floyd Street. Other reporting keeps it broader, several individuals, multiple people. But the consistent piece is that this is not a single shooter scenario.
which also means something else. It expands the circle of knowledge. Even if only one person fired the shot that struck Kingston, there are others who were there, others who ran, others who later talked, bragged, confessed, hinted, or warned someone. And then there's the second ring. Friends, girlfriends, cousins, people who were told after the fact.
And that's what's so hard to accept. The idea that a 6-year-old dies, and the truth is still being protected by fear, loyalty, or intimidation.
Police have also said that they are aware of the parties involved, but knowing and proving are different. You need cooperation. You need firsthand information. You need something that can stand up in a courtroom.
And you can feel the frustration in the way officials talk about it. That gap between what they believe they know and what they can prove is where cases stall. Not because nobody knows, but because nobody's willing to say it in a way that holds up under oath.
Now, there's another layer that's been mentioned publicly. Investigators have said they believe Kingston's killing may be connected to another homicide in Lynchburg, the killing of 16-year-old Terrion Marshall. Authorities have not explained the connection, but they have said they believe they're linked.
And that kind of statement tells you something without telling you everything. It hints at relationships, overlap, shared suspects, shared disputes, retaliation, or something. But because it's active, they've been careful not to say more.
So if you're listening and you're local, you might already have thoughts about what that means. We're going to be careful with that in the theories section because we don't treat rumor as fact here.
But we can talk about the nature of this violence. Firing into a home is not a warning shot. It's not a message that stays between two people on a street corner. It's a choice that risks everyone inside. That is how children die in a crossfire.
And this is where the emotional reality hits, because you can't logic your way around it. He was 6. He was in bed. He was playing a game. He didn't deserve to die.
He deserved to grow up, to have boring school mornings, to complain about homework, to go through phases where he's obsessed with one thing for a month and then moves on. That's what was stolen.
All right, when we come back, we're going deeper into the investigation details that have been mentioned publicly, community efforts, and why the multiple shooters aspect changes what help can look like.
I'm happy that somebody, cares enough to keep up with it.
Kingston's mom, Shay, and great-aunt Meesha reminisce about their loved one. The pair looks at Kingston's memorial filled with flowers and stuffed animals.
You got so many stuffed animals. He would be so happy.
3 months after Kingston was shot and killed, the family is still coping with his passing.
We definitely miss you, baby.
Kingston's mom says he was smart and had an outgoing personality with his loved ones.
He was definitely silly, always making somebody laugh, dancing.
And so now there is growing frustration within the family. It's because 3 months after police released this surveillance video of the suspected gunman who killed Kingston, no one has said anything.
Let's start with the part that keeps coming up again and again in coverage. The idea that this case isn't lacking in attention. It's lacking in someone crossing the line from I know to I'm telling.
Right? Because we have surveillance footage showing multiple people firing, and that's rare. In a lot of cases, police are begging for a single camera angle. Here, the public has been told there is video, enough to ask the community for help identifying the people in it.
And police have asked people to check their own cameras for footage from that time. Anything that captures movement, vehicles, people running, anything that helps build a timeline beyond the exact moment of the shooting.
One report also notes investigators later discovered a firearm in a recycling bin, which again points to panic after the fact. Somebody trying to get rid of evidence fast.
And you know what that suggests? People weren't calm. People weren't confident. That kind of discard says we can't be caught with this, which brings us back to the question. If there was fear of being caught, why hasn't someone talked?
Because fear has two sides. Fear of prison, sure, but also fear of retaliation. Fear of being labeled a snitch. Fear of what happens to your family if you say the wrong name. And in some neighborhoods, that fear is not theoretical.
But here's the thing. The cost of silence has already been paid with a child's life. And when the cost is that, the moral math changes.
This is also where community organizations stepped in. You've got incredible groups like the Peacemakers, a nonprofit looking to reduce violence in Lynchburg, pushing for surveillance cameras, raising reward funds, trying to create more accountability and more evidence. There's reporting about added cameras on the street and in the area since Kingston's death.
And while cameras can't replace people coming forward, they can do something important. They reduce the power of intimidation. Because video doesn't get scared. Video doesn't decide it's safer to stay quiet.
There's also been a public push around a reward. Money intended to encourage the person who knows something and has been sitting on it to finally move.
But money isn't always enough. Sometimes the real barrier is, if I talk, will anyone protect me? And that's why anonymous tip systems matter.
All right, next, we're going to shift into a theories segment. Not to accuse specific people and not to spread rumor, but to lay out plausible scenarios that fit the publicly known facts, and to highlight the kinds of tips that would actually matter.
It was a very emotional and heartfelt day here at Ramp Church International as family members and community members came together to honor the life of Kingston Campbell.
And I tell them, you know I love you.
Family members got on stage and made remarks about the life of Kingston and the large impact that he had on the Lynchburg community.
Kingston, oh Kingston, I'm sorry, baby boo. I love you, my superhero. I miss and love you.
Local people from the community shared what Kingston's death means for Lynchburg and how they refuse to live or go anywhere where it is okay for a 6-year-old to die like this. They also spoke about how this incident needs to incite change in the area.
Before we do theories, we want to set a boundary. We are not going to name unofficial suspects. We are not going to amplify any unproven rumors. What we are going to do is talk through likely frameworks that investigators consider when multiple shooters fire into an occupied home, because it helps listeners understand what kinds of information are valuable.
Theory 1 is the one that people dislike the most because it's so senseless. Wrong place, wrong time. A reckless act intended to intimidate or strike someone else, where Kingston was the one who paid the price.
If that's the case, then the tip that matters is not who hated Kingston, because it probably wasn't about him. It's who was the intended target, who had a dispute with someone in the home or connected to that home, who had an ongoing issue that escalated.
Theory 2 is targeted violence. Someone believed a person inside that home was the target, and the group acted on bad information, rage, or retaliation.
And if that's the case, the valuable tip is often who was asking questions beforehand, who was seen scouting, who posted something online, who said, "We're pulling up," or "We're handling that."
Theory 3 is retaliation spillover. Not necessarily this home specifically, but an address connected to a broader conflict. We know police have suggested a connection to another homicide in the city, which suggests overlapping social circles.
And in those scenarios, people in the neighborhood often know the truth immediately because someone talks, someone celebrates, someone threatens, someone says, "We did that." That's the moment where community knowledge exists, but fear keeps it locked up.
Now here's the part that matters most. Multiple shooters means multiple cracks in the wall of silence. The more people involved, the more likely it is that someone feels guilt. Someone feels pressure. Someone is tired of carrying it. Someone is no longer loyal.
And if you're listening and you're thinking, I can't talk, I'll be exposed, anonymous tip lines exist for a reason. And police have publicly asked for help identifying the individuals seen in the video.
Do any of these theories resonate with you? Do you have one of your own? Let us know in the comments. So, let's get practical. What can you do to help?
Number 1, if you have video from May 1st, 2023 into the early hours of May 2nd, even if it's not the shooting itself, check anything from that time. Doorbell cameras, backyard cameras, street-facing cameras. Anything showing people running, cars moving, headlights, silhouettes, direction of travel.
Number 2, if you recognize a person from the surveillance stills or footage, maybe from clothing, gait, build, or a group that hangs together, say something. You don't need a full name to be helpful. Investigators can work with partial info when it's consistent.
Number 3, if you heard a confession, even a half confession, someone bragging, someone panicking, someone saying, we shot up that house, that is valuable, especially if you can share context. Where, when, who was present, what exactly was said.
Number 4, remember, it wasn't one person acting alone. Public reporting has described multiple shooters, and early coverage described the video as appearing to show about 4 individuals firing. Whether it was 4, 5, or more, the point is the same. A group did this. That means a lot of people know something.
And that means the odds are high that someone watching right now has a connection, secondhand, third hand, to what happened.
If that's you, hear this. Kingston was 6 years old. He didn't deserve to die. And protecting the people who did this, protecting that silence, only guarantees more pain.
So here are tip options that have been shared publicly. You can contact the Lynchburg Police Department and investigators, including Detective T. Hall. And you can contact Crime Stoppers, including anonymous tips through the P3 Tips System app.
And you can also send tips to Crime Solvers Central. If you're not ready to go directly to authorities, we can help route your information to the appropriate place. And we can help preserve what you know in a clear, structured way.
When you send a tip, anywhere, try to include specifics. Who you believe was involved, even partial identifiers. What you saw or heard, when it happened, where you were, and who else might be able to corroborate it.
A lot of people think that tips need to be perfect. They don't. Investigations are built like mosaics. Small pieces form a picture.
If you're local to Lynchburg, talk to your neighbors. Ask older family members. Ask the person who's always hearing things. The truth in cases like this is rarely hidden. It's just unspoken.
We'll leave you with this. There are cases where you can feel the moment the city decides, we're not carrying this anymore. Where one person breaks the silence, and suddenly the whole story comes out.
Kingston deserves that moment. His family deserves that moment. And the people who did this should not get to live comfortably behind fear.
If you found this episode meaningful, please do 3 things. Share it, especially with anyone in Virginia or with ties to Lynchburg. Subscribe to Crime Solver Central on YouTube and turn on notifications. If you know something, say something. through law enforcement, Crime Stoppers, or through us.
Rest in peace, Kingston. We won't stop talking about you until someone answers for what happened.
Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and stay loud.